Enzo.
And I'm Henry. I'll be talking about point source pollution.
I'll be talking about water, mitigation, and flooding.
And I'll be talking about non-point source pollution. Okay.
Stop your moves, some of them underneath, maybe they.
Hi, I'm Matt McBride. I'll be talking about flood prevention at 88.9.
Farms like this one continuously lead to pollution of water sources. These pollution impacts are most frequently generated from poorly located or managed animal feeding operations, manure, overgrazing, plowing too often, and/or improper applications of fertilizer. At this farm in Grafton, Wisconsin, the Milwaukee River is at a constant risk of non-point source pollution. Plowing the large sums of land expose and disturb the soil, increasing the probability of erosion during a rainstorm. Erosion increases the amount of runoff carrying fertilizers and pesticides by limiting the amount of water that can be absorbed in the ground. These harmful substances that are needed for production of agriculture are carried away from the farm and into the Milwaukee River. The river is home to many organisms that face damage and pollution that lead to health hazards for humans. Fish from the river are no longer safe to eat, and the pollution will eventually add to Lake Michigan. Water will also need to go through multiple stages of purification before human use is once again safe. This source of pollution can be eliminated by not farming close to bodies of water, and also through not overgrazing and plowing. Agricultural non-point source pollution is the largest source of water quality impacts on rivers and streams, the second largest on wetlands, and the third largest on lakes. It is also a major contributor to the contamination of groundwater.
Tree by the river when we were 17.
Here we are at the 400 block of Brown Deer Road, right across from the Milwaukee River. A great place. A fairly clean, non-polluted area. But one day in April of 2015 jeopardized that. From April 8th to 9th, Milwaukee was showered with over a month's rain in under a span of 24 hours. This block specifically received 4.02 inches of rain in under that time. This large amount of rain needed to be dealt with. MMSD was forced to do a combined sewer overflow at 11 a.m. on the 9th of April onto this block. They did this to reduce the risk of basement backups in people's homes. The overflow caused this block to be flooded with over 360,000 gallons of wastewater and raw sewage. Fortunately, MMSD was able to do a combined sewage treatment and pumped water into the deep tunnel, saving many streets from being bombarded with raw sewage. MMSD needed to release the raw sewage and wastewater into the streets, otherwise many people would have their basements flooded and many other problems. MMSD needed what it had to do, but it's a real shame that this beautiful area was harmed with the waste of the pollution.
Here we are at the Indian Creek in Fox Point, Wisconsin. The Indian Creek floods the area of the Indian Creek and around it. Those affected by the flooding include homeowners who live near Indian Creek. Homes and yards can be flooded because it's a residential area. The flooding destroys yards, plants, and things inside the home. There is little to no positives to this flooding. Flooding in Indian Creek is due to flooding in the Milwaukee River. When there is a flood in the Milwaukee River, some of that flooding is diverted to Indian Creek because Indian Creek stretches from the Milwaukee River. The flood stage in the North Shore area for Indian Creek is about 7 feet. Whenever the river reaches levels over these, it increases Indian Creek's probability of flooding, according to the National Weather Service. This flooding occurs as a result of Milwaukee River flooding. When watersheds are urbanized, concrete replaces natural absorption of water. Thus, stormwater runoff enters directly into Milwaukee River, swelling and increasing its height. This causes flooding here and subsequently at the Indian Creek. This is caused by human development, which reduces the natural absorption of water after a quick and heavy storm.
Lost my head there for a second. Had a little funky psychosis, all sweetly. I don't wanna sit around.
Here we are at the ravine of Lake Park, where water is mitigated from Lake Michigan. The ravine, with multiple buffers of trees, shrubs, leaves, and soil, absorb the water from the city runoff. This mitigation means that water ends up permeating the soil and little of it ends up flowing into the lake. Because the ravine and lake at Bradford Beach are at a lower elevation, water naturally runs toward the lake. The ravine and its vegetation slow that movement and absorb much of the city runoff that would then enter the Lake Michigan ecosystem.
That's just the way. Waves don't die.
That ecosystem is filled with many organisms that would be affected by that pollution. Also, those who enter the lake to swim would be affected by that pollution. Some solutions for mitigation not at the site include establishing buffers like these between lakes or rivers and the concrete, grass, or whatever is in the water's path. These buffers include vegetation or trees which absorb the runoff before it enters the water. Another solution is to direct water elsewhere instead of going into the water source.
Your baby's falling. You know I'm talking now. You know I'm dancing. You know I'm racing round. Oh no, you're so juiced. You said you kicked the booze. You know I'll get booed. You know
I'm here at Radio Milwaukee at East Pittsburgh Avenue. The green roof absorbs the rainwater that would fall on the impervious concrete. Flooding mitigation from the Milwaukee River and Lake Michigan, which are less than a half mile away. If not mitigated, flash floods increase in size around the area. The green roof reduces the amount of flooding and water which would affect the residential and commercial areas. Another benefit to this type of mitigation is growth of vegetation, which helps raise air quality. And it also reduces runoff pollution. Some other mitigation techniques like this include retention ponds and systems such as tact and fuel, which slow the release of water into the sewage system.
Our firm explored different types of water pollution and ways to prevent it. That included
Point source pollution at the beautiful 400 block of Brown Deer Road.
Water mitigation at the 889 Green Roof.
Non-point source pollution at a farm in Grafton.
flooding at Indian Creek and flood prevention at the Lake Park Ravine. Thank you for watching.
Have a nice day.
Matt, what are you doing? Matt, get out. How are you doing? Stop.
About flood prevention.
Restore!